Hey yo, how's it going? Okay, so we're doing a bit of a mod spotlight today. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Jabber mod. Jabber stands for Just Another Better Barrel Attempt. Okay, so a bit of an acronym, but having used a couple of different barrel mods, I reckon that the guys succeeded. It's not a better barrel attempt, it's a better barrel success. Alright, so this is it. This is what the mod revolves around. Just these little storage things called barrels. Now you might notice on the tooltip we've got a couple of extra bits and pieces above what you might think. So look at the chest and we've got effective tools and light levels. Over here we have structural level and upgrade slots and other things like that, and the number of slots that it can store. Now in the mod there are a couple of tools. There is a hammer, which is a much faster way of breaking a barrel. There's a B-space tuning fork, which we'll get to a little bit later on, and a couple of dollies. A dolly is a really neat invention. You can just use it to pick up a full barrel. I'll just put something in this. There we go. There's a stone. Put it down. Stone's still there. Fantastic. It also works on other inventories like chests and various mods and things like that. There are a couple of things that it doesn't work on. You'll have to experiment, but for the most part it's a great way of getting stuff around. There is a second dolly, which is the diamond dolly. Now this will work much like the normal one. You can pick things up and put it down and all that kind of thing. But the diamond dolly can also pick up and move around a spawner, a vanilla spawner in Minecraft. You can move you can do 6 moves for each of these. It does have durability and it will wear out fairly fast, but being able to move around spawners occasionally and put them where you want for some kind of a mob farm is a very, very handy thing. Okay, so looking at this, now the way to interact with it, hang on, I'll just grab some more stone. I'll grab some more of this. Good. Alright, so you can just put an item in the barrel, alright? Or I can put a whole stack in at once, or if I've got more than that in my inventory, and I don't even have, like once the contents are set, I don't even have to actually be holding one of the item. I can just right click twice, like a double click, and it all just goes in. Getting stuff out, I can just stand here and left click, get out a stack, shift left click, get out one. Alright. Now if I take everything out, you see how it's gone back to blank? If I shift right click, you get a little padlock appear down in the corner. What that means is that this is now locked for storing stone. So if I take everything out of it, it says there's nothing in there, but it still knows that it is stone, and it appears on the tooltip as well, which is quite handy if you're doing a bit of a barrel-based storage system. So we'll just grab our hammer. Now, remember I said that there were several structural levels, okay? The structural levels are 14, these things. Basically the way to think about these is it's a bit like a chest, right? A chest has a number of slots, and then you can put something in it. You can put, so they're all the structural levels. The recipes, it's basically a stupid thing. Fences in the corner with wood, iron, gold, diamond, obsidian, endstone, and emeralds. Very simple. Now, in order to apply a particular level, the previous one has to be applied. So if you want to put this on, you've got to have that, which means you've got to have that, and so on. Now you can tell what level is on the barrels because the outside changes colour. I'm just going to pick up this this barrel here, put it down next to here so you can see what an unaltered one looks like. So this is level 0, nothing applied to it. Level 1, which is wood. Level 2 is iron. You can see the upgrade slots are increasing as well. Gold, diamond, obsidian, and stone, and the top one is emerald. I quite like the look of the emerald one. I think it looks great. When you break one of these things though, you get both the unaltered barrel back and any upgrades that were applied. Now looking at this, it all looks pretty normal, right? If you're holding a jabber tool, you can see up in the top left, or an upgrade will do the same thing. This will tell you what's happening on your barrel. So up in the top left here, it tells you what structural level you have, and here it's telling me how many available slots I have. 6, 7, 127. Alright, all good. Then one of the basic uses for the slots is to increase the amount that the barrel can store. Now you can make these storage upgrades. Now this one increases the barrel by 64 stacks. Let's see now, let's pick up the recipe for it. The recipe for that is a couple of pistons and a standard one of the barrels. I think the idea here is that the pistons show that it is compressing into the barrel and stuff like that. So that's the basic one, and then to make this one is just 3 of the lower level ones, and then 3 of those, then 3 of those, 3 of those, and there isn't actually a recipe for this one here. Right? And that's because you can see how it says storage upgrade is times 243. Slots increased, slots used 243. Now we'll go back and look at these barrels. The best upgrade that we've got, the emerald one, will only give me 127. So although this is in the game, there's no recipe for it, and there's no way you can actually apply it to a barrel at all either, which is a bit silly. So all you have to do, you don't have to apply these in order. You can just pick one up and choose a barrel, and yep, see, you need at least 27 for that one. We can put it on here, and then this one we can put onto here. So now you can see we've got a new little marker, which is this thing here, 27, 81. Now if I shift right click on the little icon with my my barrel hammer like this, it'll take off whatever upgrade I'm dealing with. This one over here, we've still got 46 slots left, so we can actually add both of them. So we've got 108 worth. Now if I right click, it's going to take off the lower level before the upper level one. So there you go, storage upgrade. So now this one, like a standard barrel can hold 64 stacks of something. This will hold 5,248 stacks. So you've got, from the basic one all the way up to this top level one, you've got a significant storage improvement. It does hold a lot. Just while we're here, I will say though, these are really handy for certain things, but you don't want to build your entire modern Minecraft storage system out of that. I tried that a couple of times, and what ends up happening is that for some reason it just causes too much lag if you have huge numbers of these things. So use them for a few bits and pieces, don't use them for everything. Alright, so that's the storage part, and if that's all the mod had, that'd be pretty cool, but it does more. Okay, so over here we've got a couple of more upgrades, and I actually forgot to get my storage upgrades. I forgot to get my storage upgrades. 1, 2. Yeah, that should be enough. Alright. Let's just quickly upgrade this to iron. Alright, so this is our first special thing, okay? We have a hopper upgrade and a hopper facade. So let's grab those two bits and pieces, go back over here. I can't fly. We'll grab a dolly. Now the hopper upgrade requires only one slot. I have 3 available, so I could have done this with just the basic, sort of level 1 upgrade. Anyway, so we'll add this to the barrel. And you can see down in the bottom left hand corner we've got a little picture of a hopper. Alright, so if I grab my chest and I put it under the bottom here, put a stack of stone in, but it's not doing anything, is it? Alright, and that's because it's got a hopper upgrade, which means that it'll act like a hopper, and if you've used hoppers, they have 5 slots and you can put anything in them. This has 64 slots, but you can only do a single kind of item. Alright, so if I get this thing called a hopper facade and I put it on the bottom here, what happens now is you can see it's draining the stone out of the barrel into here, which is kind of handy, if you've got a lot of stuff that you need to drain into something, like a machine or other things like that. It's a convenient little way to go. You don't have to use conduits. That's very nice. Okay. One of the other neat things about these barrels is, so now we'll grab these. If you play modern Minecraft, one of the things that you'll be used to is having more than one type of ingot. So so I've got 3 different copper ingots here. I'm pretty sure this mod has a few more. Yeah, see, look at this. I mean, I've got so many different kinds of copper here, and it's such a nuisance, isn't it? But if I put this in here, right, these other 2 are OR dictionary compatible. So if I just right click, you see how it's converting them all. And now I've got 3 of the thermal foundation ones. Now that only works for stuff that is OR dictionary compatible, alright? And a good example of something that's not are these the Rotorcraft Certus Quartz gems. Now that's what you get if you process Certus Quartz in a macerator or not a macerator, a extractor or a grinder from Rotorcraft. You end up with one of these. Now this, you can convert back into the basic one just by putting it in a crafting grid. But the problem is, they're not OR dictionary compatible. So if I put this one in here, right, that won't go in. You actually have to convert it in a recipe. But for the most part, for ingots, it works really well. It's quite a neat little piece of functionality. Very, very cool. Next thing we've got happening here is these things called B-Space upgrades. Turns the barrel into a B-Space upgrade. Oh, by the way, these extra upgrades and things like that I'm talking about now, like the hopper one and this one and a couple of the other ones, they are all, you can add them to you can add multiple of them to a single barrel. So you can have a barrel with everything on it. Okay, so here we go. We'll just add a B-Space upgrade, add one here. You can see we've got our little icon there. The recipe for this is a couple of pistons and an ender chest. All right. Now what this does is, if I grab my tuning fork that I mentioned earlier, this is the only use for the tuning fork, by the way. And you might notice these barrels are identical. This will only work if the barrels are identical. So if I shift right click here, the fork starts resonating, and you can see down here it's got a reducing durability. That's because you've got a certain amount of time to complete this move. Shift right click on the other barrel and it says that the barrels are resonating together. Not bad. Let's go and grab our stone back from out of here. And what happens is, if I put stuff into one barrel, you see it's visible on the other barrel. Take it out and it goes from both. And I can put it in and take it out. Basically either direction. These are now, sort of absolutely linked. Lock. and they're both locked, you get the idea. Right. So they've got a little icon there that says it is linked. Cool. So that's another, sort of useful little thing. You can put stuff in at one spot and take it out at another spot, and it's very, very handy. Good, 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 good. Next upgrade up and happening is, I'll just do this so that we can get some cobble into here. Alright. So the void upgrade, what the void upgrade does is it deletes excess items once the barrel is full. Now we're filling up our barrel here, we've got 10 stacks. But, so normally what happens if you fill up the barrel is that it's full of stuff, you can't put any more in it. Whatever you're doing, it can't do any more. So it basically stops, or it makes a mess, or it comes out elsewhere, or things like that. If you add the void upgrade, see we've got a little void upgrade sign. What happens is that extra stuff that is pumped into the barrel is voided, it's destroyed. So let's just say you're running a quarry, right? And you've got all your stuff coming out. What you can have is you can have some of these barrels with void upgrades for the high volume things, like your stone, your cobblestone, your dirt, and that way you can say add a couple storage upgrades, space upgrades, so that you can decide how much of each of them you want to have, and then add a void upgrade on top, and it will keep receiving items, but the stuff that it's receiving will be destroyed. And we'll come back to this in a moment when our Ignis extruder has filled up the barrel. Let's go and grab some redstone. And we'll just redstone out the back here a little bit. Okay, so in here we've got another couple of the a couple of upgrades. Alright, so there's a redstone upgrade which we can add to the bottom, and then we'll go and add a redstone facade around the back. There we go. Very, very good. So basically what this does is that we're on this side. There's a couple of different modes. You can have it to output... Oh, stupid thing. There we go. So you can see as I right click with the barrel hammer, this little icon up in the corner is changing. Alright, sorry about that, derpy. So this setting is now output a redstone signal when the barrel is full, output when empty, and this last one that looks a bit like a rising graph, basically it will output a varying signal depending on how full the barrel is. So, from 1 to 15. So we're about half full, so it's going to output, there we go, it's just moved up to 9. And if we wait here for a second, it will change up to 10. Come on, you can do it. There we go. Alright, so that's what this one is for. It's so that you get a varying redstone signal out depending on how full the barrel is. Let's go over here and look at our little void barrel, and you can see that's full. But our Ignis extruder is still producing stuff. That's because it's still, every time it finishes, it kicks it out the side, it gets to here, the barrel's full, and the excess gets voided. Alright, no worries. And the last thing we've got is this one over here. Now, you put some stuff in a, and this is just called a sticker. You put some stuff in a barrel, you can see what it's doing. That's all good, right? But barrels, they've only got one visible side. There's only one side we can actually see what's going on. The top and bottom look like that, the sides and back look like this, and all that kind of thing. A sticker, shift right click, lets you see what's in the barrel. It just sort of gives you an extra visible side. And you can interact with it the way that you would with a normal side, because you're just interacting with the barrel. But yeah, there you go. So if you ever want to see from both sides, sticker is the way to go. Okay, so that is the Jabber mod. It's very, very cool. They have resolved a lot of issues with it. This is a very handy little storage mod, especially early on. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you enjoyed our little mod spotlight. Thank you very much.